Made it to summer. Let's get it. We made it to the finals, but we out for the summer. What an exciting season, what's next, I wonder. Relle and King with the GloYard on Playback. When October comes, he said, Nico, run it back. We made it through the storm and we almost got the chip. We had some tough games, but now we ain't quit. We saw them boys come together, others fall apart. But most important thing, we saw our teams got heart. Luka making records and Kyrie making moves. When there's breaking news, Relle and King got it figured. When you wanna see some damn perspective views, when you on YouTube, man, you know who to shoot. Whether you wanna talk or vent or who's who, just keep it respectful to my GloYard crew. At WTN, just to speak to the panel, and welcome to the We Talk Mavs channel. Nico, run it back. Nico, run it back. Nico, run it back. When October comes, he said, Nico, run it back.
YouTube, GloYard Gang, MFFL, podcast listeners all over the globe, guys. Welcome to a brand spanking new episode of We Talk Mavs members only edition, where we do this for the people who show love to the channel in that special way. Our way of saying thanks to you. And let's get to it, King. Interesting offseason so far for the Mavericks. I think we're done. I mean, there's one more move. I think a lot of people are hoping that happens. But for the most part, I think they're done. Well, I think there might be one more move. Not the move everybody expecting, but it might be one more move. We'll talk about it here in a little bit. But yeah. So welcome everybody to another episode of We Talk Mavs. Like I said, members only edition, man. Your boys Relle and King talking to all things Mavs from a fan's perspective. We'd like to welcome y'all. Y'all already know how we do it, man. We include the members of the channel here, man, to give their takes and their comments and their questions and all the good things, man, they want to talk about with this team. And yeah, listen, man, if you do want to become a member of the channel and join these folks up here with us whenever we have these shows on Fridays, all you have to do is simply hit that join button, man, and join us here as we talk all things Mavs with the GloYard. All right, King, you ready to get to it, man?
I am, bro.
All right. Before we do that, man, let's just give a quick shout out, man, to a special partner of ours, man. One who's been we've been growing with here. I feel like we were there from the ground up, and it's starting to grow to something probably more than get better than YouTube. If you ask me, I'm not gonna lie to you.
From a creative standpoint,
yeah, for the creative standpoint, man, I definitely recommend it, man. So then that's Playback. Yes, sir, guys. You can follow us on Playback. It is absolutely free. You can download the app wherever you get your apps from. You follow us on there, man. We stream all the Dallas Mavericks games and also some classic NBA games. Me and King will probably try to get back on there soon. They're trying to get schedules worked out, man. We still got lives outside of here, man. Try to maneuver through that and also try to get that in too, man. Because it's definitely a passion of ours. We love talking about the old school NBA games, and we just try to share that passion with y'all, man. All right, King. Let's get to it, man. Not really too much to take out of it. I know y'all seen the thumbnail. Spencer Dinwiddie back. We dropped a video talking about Spencer Dinwiddie's return. We just want to get y'all takes on Spencer Dinwiddie and the overall take of this offseason so far. What do y'all think? What y'all give it as a grade? You know, Markieff Morris is still out there. There's rumblings that Dallas might still try to get him in. But the only way they're going to be able to do that is if they cut A.J. Lawson. And got to get y'all take on that, too. Do y'all want to cut A.J. Lawson to sign Markieff Morris back? Are y'all done with Markieff Morris? We can move on. Like, what's y'all's take? Or do y'all want to keep A.J.? Y'all want to start him at the point guard position over Luka? What do y'all want to do? You know, let us know, man. Let us know. All right, man. Go ahead and drop that link, King. And as you're dropping that link, I'm gonna go ahead and post it here, pin it on top here of the comment section. And let's see.
I guess you want to give our opinion.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
All right, I'm gonna post it though. Still.
I feel like we already know because we kind of talked about it on the last show.
Yeah. So obviously, I don't need either one of them. That's my opinion. I told you we have the championship pedigree with both Kyrie and Clay, so I don't see why Markieff is necessary. And AJ Lawson, I mean, he can be a G League player or a two-way or something like that. In my opinion, we can go get somebody else. We can still go get a Dennis Smith Jr. In my opinion, if we really want to get serious. But that's just how I feel. But I did have something I wanted to state real quick. Somebody, I think Gina asked me the last show, what would the team I pick, or how would I surround Luka with talent? What's the best way to build a team around Luka Doncic? I guess we're saying that the way that it is the way that they're trying to do it, like with the 3-guard system and the roller. Like the way they've been trying to build the team for the past few years is just they're upgrading that same team every year, if that makes sense. Like they're just trying to run it that way, but get better with some more skilled guys at the positions is able to do what they needed to do. So like I said, you got Klay Thompson doing what Tim Hardaway was supposed to do this year. And then every position you just upgrade. So I think that might be the answer. Shout out to Nico for answering that.
Yeah, I agree. All right, man. Let's bring up the folks, man. So listen. All we ask, if you come up here, guys, please make sure your audio is clear. There's no noise in the background. So when we post this as a podcast, nobody will hear the extra noise in the background. So make sure you ain't got no TVs on. Make sure you ain't got no fans on. Make sure you ain't got no washing and dryer going in the background. You ain't got your cousin cutting your grass while you're doing the show. All that, man. Cause that stuff does echo on the audio. So that's all we ask, y'all. And also, too, if a super chat comes in, we got to take the time and answer the super chat. So if a super chat comes in, we have to stop and take the time to answer that.
That was definitely Relle. It didn't play, I don't think, but shots. That was towards
I heard it.
Yeah, nobody else. It's an inside joke.
That was the first time for you. No, you be good to go. But yeah, what we're gonna do, man, we're gonna bring y'all up one at a time. Go ahead and real quick let us know. Well, let's let us know real quick. What did y'all think about the Dinwiddie signing, and then we'll just get to the open chat and kind of start the conversation from there. So all right, let's get your boy Larry up here first, man. Hold on, my bad. Let's get this. There we go. All right, what up, Larry, man? What's your takeaways, man? What you think about this Spencer Dinwiddie signing, man?
What up, Larry?
Hey, what's good, King and Relle? Hope you're having a blessed week and a good day today.
Same here,
I'm okay with bringing back Spencer Dinwiddie. I would have wanted someone a little bit more defensive, but I mean, we need someone that can go get buckets also on this team. We saw that through the finals or through all the playoffs. So I'm cool with it. I give it a C, B plus. I mean, C plus, B minus. That's where I'm leaning on it.
Oh, pause, but okay.
C plus, B minus, huh? Okay. Well, I hope you need to start grading. We need to start grading on the curve there, Larry.
That's I guess that's good for Larry. If Larry giving it a B minus, I mean, it's like an A plus plus.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get Nancy up here next. How you doing, Nancy?
What up, Nancy?
Hey guys, how you all doing?
Can't complain.
Not too bad. I'll be better here in a couple hours.
I've actually missed hearing your opinions. It feels like you've been radio silent for a while, so it's good to see you back. Dinwiddie,
he been dodging it.
Yeah, Dinwiddie actually, I'm okay with. I know a lot of fans are like, "Oh, look what he said about us." I don't care nothing about that. Get me a championship. If
Facts.
he can help us get us a championship, I don't care. He's used to the system. He's used to Luka. He's actually played with Kyrie, and I think he actually had a better year with the Lakers than people think he did. We get so caught up in not watching other games. I was actually tracking him a little bit, and he had some really good games for them. He actually even helped them win a couple of games, and his 3-ball seemed to be fine, as far as that goes. But I'm fine. I trust Nico. For me, I'd give it a B plus.
Okay. And
I
I
mean, if that's
1,000,000%
who
agree with
Nico
you.
wanted to get, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if
Yep.
that's the position he wanted to get, I'm totally okay with it. And I think he's hungry, and I think he knows he made a mistake by going to the Lakers, because he could have been sitting in the, at the finals with us last year. So, because from what I heard when I listened to Sham on the Pat McAfee show, the Lakers still wanted him.
Yeah, they did.
So there we go again. The Lakers wanted somebody, and I'm sorry, the Dallas Mavericks got him.
All right. Let's go ahead and get the next person up here. What up, Ben? What you got, man? What's on your Ben loving mind out here?
What up, Ben?
What's up, guys? Well, first of all, just want to say, I appreciate you guys coming on, still pitching in, even if there's not a hell of a lot going on. It's good to see these shows still running, so I appreciate that from you guys, and obviously good to see you both, Nancy and Larry, as well. But without further ado, just on Spencer. So I will never say no to a player, especially on pretty much basically a minimum contract. I would never say no to having a player who can actually create their own shot. And we also, Spencer Dinwiddie isn't like an unknown quantity. Obviously, we all know what Spencer Dinwiddie can do. We all know what he is. And also, I mean, he knows his system. He knows Kidd. He knows Luka. He knows his team. Like, he plays well with his team. I think I've got to be honest. The Lakers is a place where a lot of these guys' careers go to die. I'm going to be completely honest. I think.
Dang.
I mean, you have guys like. Let's just look at the Mavs examples, right? So you look at Christian Wood, man, and whatever people say about Christian Wood, that guy is an absolute bucket, right? And he's a good shooter, and he's a real threat, right? Even if he's not a great defender and a yada yada yada, and he's a team problem, okay, whatever. The fact is, the guy can play basketball, and he went there, he was trash, right? You send Spencer Dinwiddie to the Lakers, all right? He's got the worst spacing he's probably ever had. With no disrespect, but the guys he's got around him, they're not known for shooting 3-pointers and things like that. And also, one amazing stat I remember about Spencer was back in his Brooklyn and Washington. I think it's Washington, wasn't it? And also in his Dallas Mavericks days, he was actually one of the best ISO scorers, efficient scorers in the league. Like, as in, he was top 10. I think he was, even for the Mavs, he was like a top 6, one of the most efficient ISO scorers in the league. So people forget about this, and okay, he's not whatever, defender, this and that, whatever. But at the end of the day, man, the problem we had against Boston was not our defense; it was the offense. We had guys who could not get scores. They couldn't get the flipping ball in the basket. And one thing Spencer Dinwiddie will do, and I think he'll thrive in this system. Now he's got basically 3 Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, all-star players, supporting him as well. Plus, we got an absolute killer role players now, and he can just be himself, man. I know for a fact he's a 40% not free throw, God forbid, 40% 3-point shooter. But I know he's going to do that, with the right spacing. I mean, obviously for the Lakers, he came in there. He obviously thought he wanted to go to daddy, but obviously he's come back home to mum, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine, dear. It's going to be all right. So yeah, I think it's a good signing. I mean, DSJ, I was okay with that as well. I would have been okay with either of those, man, because I really like DSJ, especially from a defensive point of view. But yeah, man, I think Nico's sort of wood from the trees. We need offense, and that's what Spencer's going to do for you. Simple as that.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get the next person up here. Let's get Joe in here. What's up, Joe, man? What's on your mind about this Spencer Dinwiddie signing, man?
Oh, first of all, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a big Spencer fan. I thought that whenever he came to the Mavericks in the trade from Washington, he played really well for us. He played big in big moments. He had big shots, and so the nostalgia in me made him the favorite if we were going to sign a guard. So I like that, and the other thing too for me is especially since Cuban's been out of the picture, right? I think that Nico has made a bunch of strong moves, and even the moves that he made that didn't immediately pan out, right?
Hey, Joe, can you say that one more time for the people in the back? You said it's since when now?
Yeah, since Mark Cuban has been gone, even the moves that he has made that didn't pan out, and I'm looking at you, Grant Williams, He immediately pivoted off that. You know, that one of the things about in business is they always say, don't throw good money after bad, right? And so if you continue to play Grant Williams in those situations and you keep him on the team, you're just doubling down on dumb, right? And he didn't do that. So I tend to, if Nico Harrison decided that he thought Spencer Dinwiddie was a good fit for this team, I think that that's a good fit. I do want to say that, you know, if you look at Nico Harrison's track record on this, since he got the job in 2021, if you look at and then see all the you're like, oh, why did we do that? Ooh, Brunson, all this other stuff. There's a clear difference between Nico with Mark Cuban and Nico without Mark Cuban. So I'm not being a fanboy here. I'm just saying that, you know, there's been a decided, measured uptick in his performance as a GM whenever he's been unshackled from Cuban. Absolutely publicly stating, I have the final say. I'm the one writing the checks. So I think that Nico wants Spencer Dinwiddie. I'm in favor of Spencer Dinwiddie.
I've been seeing shows to piggyback on that, Joe. I didn't say what's up to when you joined the show, but to piggyback on that, I've been saying I sent the Relle.
Not yet. Cause I'm gonna touch on that, King.
Okay,
pause. Because I swear, cause what Ben said and what Joe said, when you send me those, I was gonna bring that up here in a little bit.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's perfect. I guess me and you on the same page. Because I was just thinking that.
Yep.
Let's get this person up here next. Richard. What up, Richard?
What's up, guys?
Spencer Dinwiddie, loving mine, man.
What up, Richard?
Well, I actually like Spence. I think he got D'Lo paid for a career. So, Spence is one of them 3 or 4 over 30 players that I've told y'all that are out there that I actually like. He's one of them.
He's only 31, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I definitely don't have a problem with that. But y'all, I have been, it's been a good morning and all. I've been making fun of Mavs fans, so I'm having a great day. But how can you want to defend and want to keep Maxey and Powell and don't want Spence? Make that make sense to me, y'all. I've been arguing this yesterday.
Where do you be finding these people?
Locked on.
Oh my!
Locked on. I mean, I've got a page of about 20 people that I've literally been arguing with since yesterday. Like I said, I've got to where I have fun with it now, but I can't make that make sense.
Oh my God!
I mean, Spencer has delivered at 3 different teams at 2 different decades. I mean, y'all like to say I've seen him do it. Well, I've seen Spence do it repeatedly.
Amen.
Matter of fact, Spencer's numbers in LA was still better than Master Cleveland and Dwight Powell's best year.
Yeah.
I keep telling y'all, I don't keep telling you. I just said earlier, Nico is upgrading the formula. Like, remember last year I told you, I've been saying this for 2 years now. When we had Spencer, I say Spencer don't have knees, right? Like, you see the way he moves, he doesn't have knees. We kind of downgraded Spencer's position last year to the guy with no knees and Exum. Exum now got upgraded again back to Spencer Dinwiddie. Like, Nico is a genius. Going to the point I was saying earlier, Relle, about how we saw a video. I saw a video where I sent it to Relle where guys were saying,
2 videos.
Yeah, the Mavericks have the smartest, like, general manager or GM basically in the NBA. Their management is just the smartest right now. Like, I've never heard that about the Maverick front office ever. And it's other fans. It's not even like Maverick fans. These are fans of other teams.
Yeah, that's how you know when it's real, when there's other people saying it.
When they're paying attention to it, it's saying the stuff like, man, this guy is a genius. Like, the moves he's making, even the wrong ones he makes, he uses those moves to get out of them, to switch it around. Like, he's never stuck. He's always thinking about the future. He's like 2 moves ahead. While he's thinking about the move right now, he's thinking about what's that next move. And that's the salesman mentality of Nico. That's why when people are laughing about him being a salesman and all, I'm like, this guy controlled Nike. Y'all don't understand what this guy's about to do.
Yeah, King, about that.
Hold on, Joe. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Real quick. Noah is been a 4-month member. He says Nico is the MVP of the Mavs this upcoming season. Period.
Can't argue with
Okay.
that.
No, sir. Go ahead, Joe.
I was just going to double down on what King said. You know, I've actually read the CBA. It's 600 pages of crap, but you know, it's not actually, that's not fair. It's not 600 pages of crap. It's 600 pages. And I'm going to repeat this until it's just one of the things that we can be really informed fans in the GloYard. But flexibility is the key.
Yes, sir.
With the play on the court, right? You have to have players that are flexible that can do multiple things, like a knife, like Najee Marshall, right?
Yep.
And you have to have flexibility with the cap. And if you look, because most teams are going to be hard capped at the first apron, and there's only going to be a few teams that get to go up to the second apron because they're signing their own players.
So most of them are going to be contenders. I mean, if you're going into the second apron, you're expecting
You
to
better be,
to
or
play.
you're bad. If you're in the second apron, you should be contending for a championship every year. And if you're not, you're a bad front office.
And I'm just talking about that window between the first apron and up to the second apron. And you've got like two teams like Miami and the Lakers that are kind of stuck, right? So that's not even. And then you've got 4 teams that are over the second apron. So what with the cap and all the things, because the owners basically successfully negotiated a hard cap, right? And you've got to maintain flexibility. And so that's why one of the things, like we've all complained about with Maxey and with Dwight, we're spending, those are third team players for us, and we're spending $22 million next season on our third team, which is way too much. That should be like 8 to 12 million. And
he's bringing it down, though, Joe.
What's that?
And the thing,
I was just saying he's bringing it down.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why a few things, because like I said, Ben, you and Joe had said something, and it's funny y'all said that because King sent me a couple videos about what y'all both had touched on, right? So the one that Ben, when you brought up the fact that I forgot who said it, but when we talk about this team, right, and we look at this team and how they're being built, I can't remember who said that. King, I don't know if you said this or heard somebody else say this. They were saying that Nico, the way he constructs the team, the way he's constructed the team right now, he's built for this new CBA.
Yes,
which is why we're so astounded by, like, oh my God, look what he's doing with this. Like I said, you got
the video I sent to you, bro.
Okay, that's what it was. And so you see how he's able to not only did he get rid of some bad contract like a THJ and all that, but you got less.
He's a salesman,
right?
Yeah.
Like what they said was like $38 million, and we cut it down to like $24 million or whatever. But you got better players. Which is kind of go back to what y'all was saying about the like Maxey and all them. We got Najee Marshall for a 9. Why are we still paying Maxey 11?
How much is
bro?
You
see what I'm saying? Like,
that's where I was saying that
like
the teams like how the Mavericks are built for this new CBA, which is for the next 11 years, because they're flexible and they're nimble, because they have players like Najee Marshall on the team, things like that. You know, Luka's going to cost. He's going to cost 24% of the cap. I know the number is 34%, but the first apron pushes that up and puts him down to 24%. And then you've got Kyrie taking up 23% up to the first apron, right? And then the next highest player in the Mavericks takes 9% of the cap. And then so it just gives you, like, the teams like Philadelphia, they have no flexibility.
Nope. Joe, the next time the Mavericks should touch or be around the second apron is when they got to decide to pay Derek Lively. And by then, you should be like, hopefully, we're like winning. We have championships by then, so that we're a championship level team and we're like dominating. That's
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm a little concerned about that, King, with the Kyrie.
Kyrie got in is
they'll be gone.
Like Kyrie will be, if he's still here, $20-something million player. If that, at that point, like Kyrie's going to make. Kyrie, when you start going down on your contracts for reasons, you're probably going down. You feel what I'm saying? Like, his next contract won't be as much as he made this time. He's trying to get years now with still getting that type of money.
I think if he averages 25, 5, and 5 again on 50, 40, 90, then he's going to get paid probably the same kind of deal that he got this last time. And so there might be.
I think the Mavericks can get him for like a $30 million if they give him the years, because it's still going to be about his injury history. You got to think about Kyrie. Still, he didn't make the All NBA team or anything because of injury history.
Yeah, he hurt right now.
But hold on. Now. That was because we have one giant freaking knucklehead out there trying to play volleyball.
Joe, you're right. You're right. It was because of him, but it seems to happen around Kyrie. You feel what I'm saying? Like he broke his hand down. Like he's trying to
I ain't got a problem paying Flat Earther, y'all know that, but there's no way I'm giving him more than a 1-and-1.
Well, he's going to want years. So if the Mavericks want to get him for lower,
they'll probably give him 3.
Like a 3-year again, like a 2+1.
There you go.
I'm gonna have to be convinced of a 3-year contract.
Well, we'll see by the end of this contract, Richard. We'll see by the end of this contract if that worries. But I forgot my whole point in general. Who was next? Jeez.
Hey, so hold on.
Sorry about that.
This is the last. Just so everybody knows, if he puts up 25 and 5 on 60, 62 games of play this year, then he's going to opt out of his contract and ask for another 3-year deal, probably a 2-and-1. So y'all just be prepared for that.
I was going to say that.
He's on a contract year, so hopefully we win a championship.
This is his contract year. I mean, I know he's got an extra year, but that's a player option. That just means if he's injured, he'll sign that he'll take that player option. If he's not, another 2-and-1 is going to be on the books.
Yeah.
Do you think he could be persuaded to take a descending contract?
Yes. I think if you give him the years, if you give him the 2+1, yes, he would. I think Kyrie would do that.
Just say, guys, I've already kind of looked at the 25-26 cap, though. If assuming that we have to pay Quentin Grimes, like 8, 10, 12 million, something like that, we're going to have less than $5 million to play with next year. So this coming season, the season after that. So we don't have as much flexibility as you think. So there's not a lot of room to give Kyrie a descending contract if it's a $40 million per average.
Give ascending one, but Relle, go ahead and read that. But I know Ben wanted to say something. Make sure Ben get in that. Hey, please.
All right, Corey with the $4.99 don't know. He says much love, guys. All right, appreciate you, Corey. Appreciate you, man.
Always, Corey. Go ahead, Ben.
Go ahead, Ben.
Yes, I just wanted to say that one of the things, and I think obviously everyone's kind of touched on it, but it building obviously around the CBA. I think it's more than that. I mean, what he's doing, and this is what I've been quite impressed with, is this guy he's basically min-maxing the roster as best he possibly can. So what I've noticed is he doesn't settle and he doesn't get hung up on like a player. So like when he came into the thing, he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna re-sign DJJ, and he's 1A and 1B. That was fantastic kind of like way of saying, oh, we really value our players, we want to really get you back on the contract. And I'm sure in his deep down he did, but the guy at the same time, he's ruthless in a good way, in the sense he's like, the second this guy started messing around, the second he started asking for even just a penny more than what he's willing to offer, he knew what the value of DJJ was. He was like, I'll give you 9 million. 9 million is what I value at. If you ask for more than 9 million, then you're gone. And it was simple as that. And this guy knew. He said, if this guy doesn't want to be here, I've got Najee Marshall as a backup. And I'm telling you, if Najee Marshall didn't come, I'm telling you right now, he would have got somebody else, or he would have taken a flyer on someone and waited till like halfway through the season.
Gee, this sounds like something somebody on the show said. I think somebody said this. I can't remember who it was.
If it was genius, I said it.
It sounded like somebody who on the show said this. I just don't know who it was.
My point, bro. I remember my point now. I was asking.
Yeah, I remember mine too because Ben just said something about me.
I was asking you to about Dorian Finney-Smith and how much he makes, and you said,
like 14, I think.
14, 15 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
I told you before, Nico has the blueprint of how he wants to make this team around Luka Doncic. He made it to the finals now, right? Mm-hmm. We have Najee Marshall. Would you consider Najee Marshall a better player than Dorian Finney-Smith?
Yes, sir. And younger.
Is he making $5 million less than Dorian Finney-Smith?
I believe so. That's how math works.
Did we upgrade the guy at the position?
Yes, sir. And you know what? And that's what I was gonna say because Ben said something that reminded me. I was gonna piggyback on what Ben said about the. So King sent me this video of these guys talking about why. Well, this guy he was talking about why the Mavs lost, and I think this is the one thing that kind of gets me about people like I don't know how one person can cover 30 teams and get everything right, which is why I like to follow like individual guys who follow individual teams because it's easier to cover that way. And so what the guy was saying on that video was talking about the reason why the Mavs lost. And once again, people I could tell who have not didn't really watch the games were talking about the defense. And Ben kind of touched on it. We got killed because we could not score any points. We scored over 100 points on one game. And that one game we won. We couldn't get guys to score a point. We couldn't get guys to hit open shots. We couldn't get anybody else other than Luka and Kyrie to create. And I think Spencer Dinwiddie can help with that.
Yeah, we held the Celtics to their lowest scoring average over a 5-game period than any team in the NBA. So people saying that it was the defense just wasn't watching. Like the fact that they was able to load up on Kyrie and keep him off the spots because they were just able to act like PJ and DJJ wasn't even there. It's just like Kyrie has certain spots on the floor, and because they are able to load up on those spots because they looked at PJ and Derrick Jones as non-threats.
Well, Mike, I have noticed you hadn't been around lately in some of the other chat places and stuff too, so I am glad you're okay and you're back.
Man, I'm always around. I'm just kind of like a lot of off-season stuff is kind of getting boring. I'm trying to watch certain things. Like my team is kind of smoked.
Hey, you know the saying, as long as you ain't pushing up daisies, it's all good.
Oh, yeah, life is good. Life is always good. Looks like my Rangers are back, about to be 500. Let's go. Life is good. I am feeling sorry for Cowboys fans out there. I just had to let that disease go.
Why?
So, Patrick Mahomes does our hype videos for a reason. I'll leave it at that.
The one thing, too, about Kyrie that people can keep in mind, if Kyrie's happy, he's willing to make sacrifices as far as his money goes. I don't think... Okay, so when he was trying to do his bargaining with Brooklyn, he wasn't a budge because Brooklyn made his life one living, and I'll let you guys use the narrative there. And he wasn't willing to budge. And so when he came to Dallas, I was watching an interview with his stepmom, who's his agent, and she was on another show, some kind of business show or whatever. And she was talking about how when he was negotiating, or they were negotiating here, as an agent, obviously your job is to get the most money. And Kyrie's objective was not to get the most money. And she's like, I'm sitting over there, and he's like, no. And so he will push back with what he wants. And if you look at when he was in Brooklyn and the vaccination thing came and he didn't play those games, he lost millions of dollars, like millions of dollars. And they were trying to punish him and I think force him. And if you listen to the media at that time, they were just saying, oh, when he starts losing money, he's going to start playing. He never did any of those things. Nico and him have a really good relationship. And then remember when he came here and he got less money, everybody in Brooklyn, all the fans were crying and whining because he wouldn't take the discount for them. And when he came, yeah, go ahead, Relle.
No, go ahead.
And when he came here, even the reporters say, "What? I see you took a team-friendly deal." Like there was still less money left on the table. I think if he sees us winning and he sees us getting to the championship and things, he will be willing to take the discount, and obviously that would need to be worked out between Nico, his agent, and everybody else. But I'm sure that his objective on the table is going to be to his agent, I'm willing to take a discount. You know what I'm saying? Because he sees what's around him, and I think he brings a lot of value to this team.
And that's what I was. And that's kind of what I was about. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead. Go.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, there's an underrated part of it when you're talking about money, because if certain things happen, then off the court money is different.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like it is very underrated. Like, let's just think, if Clay ends up being a missing piece for us being a true contender, how big does the answer blow up after that?
And I was about to say this. To kind of you touched on some points there, Nancy. You're right. We've said this a million times on this show, and we use the example of Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson took a pay cut to come to Dallas.
Yeah.
These type of players, a Klay Thompson, a Kyrie, will take a certain pay cut to go to a team if they see that the structure, they have the direction and all that is great. They'll do it. It's just common sense. Like, Kyrie would take it if he knows what they're building and see where they're going. And so, like I said, I know somebody just commented talking about, no, he gonna take the 40 plus. Like, we don't know what Kyrie's gonna do, for one, and second, like I said, if he sees that the Mavs are going in the right direction, that they're close to a championship, who's to say he won't take a little bit of a shave? We ain't saying we're gonna pay him $15 million from 40. You know what I'm saying? Cut it down from 40 to about 30 or 32 or whatever, right? You're still getting your money, but instead of you getting that 40 for that 1 year, you're getting 30 something for the next 3 years.
Yeah, and to King, in your point, I think to him it's going to be more about the years than necessarily the money. He's not stupid. Yeah. He used to be a player's VP or whatever, and so he understands that this CBA is going to strap teams. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's when you get up to that age too. That you've been in the league that long, it is about the years.
Yeah, and he had. If you listen to him, he has a tremendous amount of respect to the Dallas Mavericks, the fans, the front office, because the way everybody welcomed him for being him. They're not asking him to change who he is just to be on this team. And you can't even state or put a price tag on what he's done for this team since he stepped into this. I remember King saying, I hope Kyrie comes in and he helps these guys get more exercise and get more in whatever. And you didn't always hear what he was doing since he stepped in the door. But then you hear it when their players start doing interviews like THJ saying, he came in and said, you're all lazy, out of shape, and you need to get your acts together and come back in shape and play. And they would have never been able to start playing a fast-paced game, But he's doing all these things behind the scenes where people weren't seeing him. And the fact that he was willing to come in before practice and after practice, and you could see him coaching on the field, and you could see him doing all these things, there's just no price tag that you could put on that, but he wanted to. There is, like he said in some of those interviews, there is nothing like failure. And I said it to you all last year, when everybody kept saying, well, let's do this and move this and go in that direction. I said, you best be careful, because Luka and Kyrie are not going to want to lose again. Because you can't have superstars being out of the playoffs, period. So they need to get their act together. And yes, when Mark stepped out of the way, Harrison could cook, because he knows. And he said to them, this will not happen again. You can't have a generational player like Luka and not make the playoffs.
Yep.
I actually think this team is good enough to make the playoff. If Luka, God forbid, got injured, I think this team has enough depth where they could be at least a play-in team. So that's how much changes that Nico's made to this roster. I mean, it's.
Now, when can you have ever said that, Joe? Before this year, when have you ever said that?
Man, listen, Relle, you know what it's been like to be a Mavericks fan since 1980. We've had one of the worst front offices forever, right?
Forever.
Man, I remember them used to making jokes of like, oh yeah, whenever Don Nelson was, had his influence in the team, they were saying if Sasquatch became available for the NBA draft, that Don Nelson would draft that player, or draft Sasquatch rather. So
hell, he did. He drafted what was it, Cherokee Parks?
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's been
my God.
It's been a joke. Now Cuban deserves a lot of credit for changing the environment for the players, and man, this organization was voted by Sports Illustrated as the worst professional sports team in America for the whole decade of the 90s. That's how bad it was, and Cuban changed that, and I'll always give him his accolades for that. But his meddlesome nature in the front office, it just continued to undermine this team, and I finally feel confident in the front office and their decisions that they make because he's out of the picture.
Hold on. So you didn't feel confident under Ross Perot Jr.'s era?
Man, you remember whenever he was like, his wife did not like the Mavericks cheerleaders, so she was like pushing them to wear uniforms or outfits that were more reminiscent of 1950s football cheerleaders.
Oh God! And then he hired it like his best friend, who was a realtor who never knew anything about running an NBA franchise before.
Yeah,
hired him as a GM.
Yeah, well,
oh my God, man,
we got to be careful about that because we do have a shoe guy.
Well, yeah, but he's been around basketball at least. This guy ain't never been around basketball. I don't think he even picked a basketball up in his life.
And listen, I think
that's crazy. That's crazy. Had the 3 J's and couldn't find any semblance of relevance.
They immediately started trading them away.
Yeah, but hey, I'm telling you right now, if Nico had a 3 J's, it would have been different.
For sure, it would have been. Here's the thing I think what Nico does at Nike is that they have to decide how much money they're going to invest in what players and things along those lines. So he had to do a lot of player evaluation for Nike as to how they were going to spend that money, which is I'm not saying it's the same thing as being a GM, but it certainly rhymes,
I mean, he's been doing this since high. Remember, he said he looks to like high school players, college players, and pros, which is why he's pretty good at doing, with the draft.
That's
why he takes the draft serious.
He's obviously looking in France too. So yeah. Which I'm like really enthusiastic about that move to how they put Angensa, wherever you say his name. They drafted and stashed him in France. I think that's, especially with G League Ignite going under, and NIL not necessarily making the guys still want to be one and done regardless of NIL. So I like the idea that we're going to have players that are sticking over there because we still retain their draft rights, and so he could play in France for the next 3 years. Which maybe somebody like we will hope Omax gets some playing time this year, but Anjensov, he plays and develops over the next 3 years in France, and then we get him, and we haven't been paying him to be on our team and him, burning NBA years. So we'll still have his draft rights, and we can start paying him basically on that rookie scale. Oh, man, I think that's going to be the wave.
Well, I think he'll be ready to play before he's 25, Joe. My only issue with the draft is stash. Yeah, now you can break a player too, but I'm a firm believer that you only get better by playing.
Sure.
But the problem is he's not ready for this roster right now. Because there's so much talent here, and they're trying to win a championship. They don't have the luxury to just bring young players like that on. And
Nancy, but how big of a fall off is he really?
It's not
that. He's better than
when's
Dwight.
he going to play? Well, let's get back to when's he going to play?
Exactly.
Where is he going to play? When? How? And if he doesn't
so many
play,
bodies
how's
in
he
front of
getting better?
Way
too many bodies in front of him. It's the same thing now that I feel with Jaden Hardy. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Jaden Hardy, you got to be getting ready to trade Quentin Grimes and Jaden Hardy. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
The problem with trading Jaden Hardy is he doesn't make anything, and so you're saying he's a first. You're trading for what? Oh, he's a first round pick value. Okay, but he's in the last year of a contract where he's making $2 million per year, and so he doesn't you're going to have to pay him more to keep him. Now, granted, he's going to be a restricted free agent, so the market's going to dictate his value. But he's not a great trade chip because of his contract value right now. So,
you would give 2 second-round picks for Jaden Hardy?
I mean, hell yeah, I would. But the fact of the matter is,
that's all I need.
He's only a
I just need to.
Yeah, he's only a $2 million chip. So what are you taking back? I mean, you just like a trade exception. So
no, that's why I'm taking back. It's too like, hey, you have this player. Give me 2 second-round picks.
You attaching him to Max and getting a better bench player.
But nobody wants.
That's the idea there.
Nobody wants Maxey. If Maxey had trade value, he would be gone.
But they might want Jaden Hardy though.
But is he enough to take on? Then
I'm not saying he's enough, Joe. But what I'm saying is that he could be certainly like a good way there, you know. And if we can't use him, then you might as well use him for that. Like simple as that.
Hardy, Maxey, and a couple of seconds might get you something. But what it boils down to is Maxey's either going to be here or it's going to take a first to unload him. Nobody wants to use a first to get rid of him except for me.
Give him 2025. So what's that 2025? What's the 2025 first round going to do for us?
So, and here's...
I don't think you get 2025. Did you trade 2026?
How many picks
No,
do we have?
2025.
We still got the 2
We've
first
got
round. What do we got?
25 and 31 is the 2 that we got left.
Yeah,
that's first round. What do we got in second rounds?
Not very many, like couple 3.
What year?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You gonna get second round draft pick for you gonna get second round draft pick for Jaden Hardy. Because you can go get a player with second round draft picks.
I mean, those
with
are
enough
just,
second round draft pick teams would give you a player.
Those are just deal lubricants for second round picks for the most part.
Right, but
I can see us.
But at the same time, yeah, the other part of the new CBA is not just the restrictions, but it's cap numbers, right? Like people that you thought you couldn't get rid of, you'll be able to get rid of because somebody has to spend money.
I mean, I can see us. I can see what, and I said this before, but I can see what Nico's going to do. Once you've got too much talent on your roster, where you got beyond like 10 players, you got actual talented players that could actually be useful to another team or even be on their bench. That's at a point where you can start playing with house money a little bit. I think you're going to start seeing Nico, because he is that kind of resourceful guy. He's going to start finding ways to get draft capital back for us in a way where it's like, and get like, so we're going to actually improve the team, but also get draft capital back. I mean, he's done it before, and I can see him, like guys like Jaden Hardy and stuff are a great example of that. I mean, Jaden Hardy before, we would have been like killing for him just to be, like a really important 6-man or even bench piece last year or whatever. Like, if Kid had actually played him properly, but the thing is, he's one of these guys. I can see, this is what I see for Jaden Hardy's career. He's the kind of guy that will trade him for a few picks or something like that. He'll go to some bum team, right? He'll be really good for them, yeah. But he's obviously doesn't really play defense like that or whatever. He'll just be one of those small guards that can get his microwave score and get you a few buckets. He'll bounce around the league a little bit, and people will be picking him up like later on in his career. He's one of those guys. He'll become like a decent like sort of journeyman role player in this league. Like, but one with some value, So like, I can see us doing that, and I can see Nico getting some draft capital back to a point where we're not giving away all the time. We're not always selling our stuff. We're actually getting stuff back. So, watch the space.
I think. Listen, hold on, Nancy. I agree with you, Ben. Right. The problem is that there's only 30 teams in the league, and if you really look at what teams there's a fit like that. With the bargain for exchange, the consideration, then it dramatically reduces those teams. So now you're talking about 2 or 3 teams. So that's the issue, because we actually did like a phone conference thing on Discord a week or so ago with me, Big J, Nancy, and Richard, and we were trying to trade Maxey, and you can't really get anything of value back him that fits in our salary cap and fits in everybody else's cap, because there's not those kind of players out there.
You can't add Max or Hardy to him and get rid of him.
You could do that, but I mean, then you're starting to sacrifice. Are those players? I mean, Omax has some value to us right now. I mean, there's a great hope that by the end of his third year, he's a legit rotation player. But right now he's one of the 3 players on the Mavericks that isn't really a rotation player. And that includes because Maxi's going to be in the rotation, but you got Dwight, Lawson, and Omax are 3 guys that should only play garbage minutes.
What up, Glenn? What's on your mind, man?
You
Glenn?
muted, Glenn.
Oh, no, now you muted. Oh, I guess he didn't have nothing.
I like him. He'll be back.
Yeah.
So then, based on the roster the way it is now, and we're talking about Jaden Hardy and everybody else, Kyrie's always the first guy out at 4 minutes. Who do you think's coming in for him?
You either put in Quinn Grimes, Dante Exum, dang it, why can't I think of his name? Spencer Dinwiddie. It's just no room for Jaden Hardy.
There is
That's
no
why
room.
That's why I said. That's why I gave the grade a C+ to B-, because if you're gonna keep Jaden Hardy around, you gotta free him up some space to play.
No,
But we keep putting people in front of him.
Larry, I think that why is competition a bad thing? So as long as Jason Kidd allows everybody to play, no, I'm not saying you saying that. I'm just saying in general. As long as Jason Kidd allows everybody to showcase themselves, if Jaden Hardy not better than Grimes and
Quentin Grimes is not a microwave scorer. I don't know if y'all watched him play. He's a good player, but Jaden Hardy and Quentin Grimes they bring 2 completely different bags to the game.
I think Exum the guy that's about to take the back seat.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so too. Because Grimes is going to be better than Exum probably, and that's no knock to Exum and what he gave to us last year. I loved it, but like I think Grimes is going to take that, and Spencer Dinwiddie is going to be able to score. Like Jaden Hardy has competition around him now, as long as like Kidd allows him to like the competition to actually compete to see who's the best and all that. I think this can be a good thing.
I mean, Grimes is like a 3-and-D wing.
Last point, and I'll let you finish, Larry. And we have to decide if we're going to pay Jaden Hardy soon anyway. So, have him compete right now. If he can't rise to the top, then let him go.
Can we just about that before we get to Jaden Hardy again? He's going to be a restricted free agent, so the market is going to dictate his price. So, and then we can make a decision whether or not we're going to re-sign him or not. And if somebody goes out there and they say, "Oh, we're going to give him, $13 million," you're like, "Thank you so much for your time with the Dallas Mavericks." We'll have.
And I figure he could probably get 15, Joe.
Woo, that's a lot of money, man.
And if he's a restricted free agent, no matter what he can get.
Not from us, but somebody.
If the television money is going up 15, he might be able to get 15. But I mean, damn, Josh Green got 13. So if he gets to play this year, he might get 15.
And Josh Green was overpaid, King.
That's what I'm saying. So some team might go ahead and say, okay. But if Jaden Hardy does do that and say you don't want him, you got rights on him. If he's a restricted free agent, do a sign and trade or something like that. You feel me? Like you can. It's okay. I'm fine with Jaden Hardy, the situation he's in right now.
Well, he would have to, his agent would have to say, hey, we want to do a sign and trade, because once he signs that restricted free agent offer sheet, he can't be traded to that team for 1 year. So that's how that works. Whereas,
let's let Larry finish his point, man. Go. So.
Okay. Shoot. My 2 things was, I get what you're saying, King. I love competition. So I think part 1, what I'm going to say to you is, I believe that Nico keeps putting people in front of Jaden Hardy because they're seeing something. That is his job as a GM. He's sitting there watching practice. There's some reason why he keeps signing people that he knows will jump Jaden Hardy in the process. Maybe Jaden Hardy still needs a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, I think he might be right too.
I think you're right in a way, Larry, but I also think you're wrong in a way. I think in this situation we aren't thinking about it deeper than we need to. Like, I think that Nico is just like the team is deep as hell right now, right? Like this is one of the deepest Mavericks teams, could y'all say in recent history, correct?
12
I
deep.
don't remember
12
what
deep.
this deep.
I'd probably say probably 06, probably the deepest more recent than this year.
So other than this, so you saying 06 since 06, Relle, right? That's been a
Mhm.
long time. So if that's the case, I think Nico. Remember we had those tiers before, Relle, of the players, and we like tier 1, tier 2, and then we got tier 3. Those guys, we like, what the hell are they doing here? I think Nico is just changing those guys so that if somebody messes up, instead of just having all Dwight Powells and Maxi Cleavers and Bobons at the end of the bench, you can actually have guys to say, okay, well, that ain't working. Let's go to here instead. And I think it's a good thing. Like, this is what we always wanted. And we say we put it in front of guys. Well, you got to get in front of the other guy. Like, we just got a lot of guys on the team now. That's the way the team should be built.
Well,
you got to rise.
Yeah,
Najee and our wings are all kind of built the same. Quentin Grimes, but Jaden Hardy is a microwave scorer. He's got a unique ability. He's gonna get playing time, y'all.
But he also
how much?
Another thing too. Also too, I think that with them saying what they expect from Grimes, I don't see him just sitting on the bench like Hardy was last year. They're actually going to play Grimes.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I would like to also say, and this might not be popular, see AJ Lawson cut and get a big, because there's just no way, and I am going to stay on this one for a second. There's no way
we agree,
that
Nancy.
Lively and being we can't get rid of Maxey, right? So you got to go to the next thing. Okay, so so that's why I say that. If we could get rid of Maxey, then I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't care one way or the other. But as far as Lawson goes, I mean, how many years are we going to give him? That he's still, even though he's on the team, you're not going to see him in rotation unless it's garbage time. But if Lively goes down and Gafford goes down, that means we're stuck with Powell.
Sorry.
That means we're stuck with Powell. And
Whoa, Nancy, hold on, Nancy. He sets good screens. What are you talking about?
I know, Relle. I don't know what I'm thinking about, but I've watched this guy 2 years in a row. Number one, hurt Kyrie. Could you imagine if he had broken his leg? I've rewatched that play, and I thought he broke his leg when I saw that. Could you imagine? We would have never made it to the finals if he had broke his leg. And the fact that he keeps swatting the ball out like a volleyball, we actually lost a couple of games because he hit the ball to the other team and they went down and hit a 3.
Yep.
And that's how tight the games were. So I really don't want to see him see the floor. There's so much talent on their team. There's really no need for him to ever see the floor. I'd rather them go out and get a semi-competent big, cut Lawson, and because right now we're stuck with these two guys. Nobody wants them. And they're eating up $15 million. So, I mean, as far as Lawson goes, figure out what you're going to do with him. He's not good enough to be on the roster to play. And how long are you going to leave him in the G League?
Hold on. Joe, let Larry get back. And I know you've been trying to talk. Larry, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just letting people get off what they had to say.
Go ahead.
I get what you're saying, King. I like competition. I think competition is a dope thing. But when we look at it every year, and somehow they get someone to be in front of him, that tells me something.
That's Jason Kidd, though, you don't think, right? Larry? Like, so last year, this year, I like the competition. Last year, it shouldn't have been a competition. Tim Hardaway Jr. shouldn't have been playing over him.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay, you say Tim Hardaway Jr., but it wasn't just Tim that took minutes over him.
But Tim shouldn't have had minutes. It don't matter. If you'd have took away 10 minutes, Jaden Hardy would have got minutes. No matter if Exum was getting minutes and anybody else, if you'd have took away 10 minutes, Jaden Hardy would have been getting minutes last year.
And the other guys should have got minutes. It's just he's saying that Tim shouldn't have got minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim averaged 20 minutes a game.
I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not disqualifying what y'all saying.
Jaden Hardy probably could average 15 in those minutes.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, it wasn't just Tim. Seth, I almost call him Steph. Seth Curry got minutes over Jaden Hardy.
And that's
Seth, and guess what? What was Tim? Who was getting the minutes still after Seth was gone, though, Larry? It was still Tim.
Tim was getting more minutes than Seth. Jaden Hardy should have got what I'm saying. If you just take Tim Hardaway Jr., anytime he got minutes, even when Seth was getting minutes, Jaden would have been getting more minutes than Seth Curry because he'd had Tim Hardaway Jr. minutes. They should not have. Tim should have had his minutes done. He should have been that 15th guy on the bench.
Yeah, I understand how you
should have been the
feel.
white
I'm not
pal.
disqualified. I'm understanding how you feel. I'm not disqualifying what you feel. But if we look at the season, what it was, if we're talking about when Seth was still here, Tim was still averaging about 20 points. That's why Tim was getting more minutes. Now he dropped dramatically after All-Star game. I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah.
He nosedived after the All-Star game. I'm not disqualifying none of that. I'm not disqualifying none of that. But I'm saying, okay, if Tim is going to go get you 20 minutes, Tim's going to get you dang near 20 points a game, and somehow Seth Curry is also beating you out. What are you doing in practice? That makes your GM say, okay,
cooking them.
Make your GM. What is your GM seeing at practice and be like, okay, I gotta go get somebody else.
Trying to get somebody your coach want. Larry, trying to get somebody your coach would want to play.
Your GM, if we're giving Nico all this credit, and I truly do believe Nico is great. I truly do believe it. I do believe Nico also probably does listen to kids somewhat. I'm not disqualifying that. But if we're saying Nico knows how to evaluate talent, Nico could have looked at the position, because we really didn't need Spencer. Spencer is a luxury pickup.
I agree with that.
Jaden Hardy could be your third ball handler. Why do you go get Spencer then?
So let me.
I was
gonna say this. I'm gonna answer that for you. What was the one weakness that you kept screaming on this channel, Larry, that Jaden Hardy had?
One weakness that Jay Hardy? He can't pass. He's not a good passer. No, running the offense is not his talent. He can't run off.
Or dribbling the ball. He's not a good dribbler either.
So
he's not a one. He's not a one. That's what you're yelling. He's not a one.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So why do we get Spencer Dinwiddie
to play the one?
Spencer can be a 1 and a 2.
So he can back up Luka when Luka's not on the floor, right, Larry? You trust Spencer Dinwiddie. You've seen.
So I mean, there you go, King. It's that simple. Like, you trust him, and that I think this also too is going to help Jaden Hardy as far as taking him off of the ball, because now that way you can have Spencer Dinwiddie and Jaden in there at the same time, and let Jay just go out there and just be what we expect him to be, a pure bucket.
Bro, you remember when Tim Hardaway was playing with Spencer Dinwiddie for a little bit?
Yes.
And he was looking good on the bench playing with him because he was getting the passes when Spencer was passing out.
And all he was doing is just shoot the ball. That's all you had to do. Just shoot.
That's what now Jaden Hardy gets his job now, Larry. Like he got to keep his job. It's not so another. I can give you a rebuttal back to what you were saying. Teams were looking at Josh Green and Jaden Hardy before. Why Jaden Hardy still in the team?
Hey yo, Pig, can I hop in?
Go ahead, Big.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
I was agreeing with what you're saying because Larry's looking at it from the standpoint of obviously they're seeing something, but we all know that Kid has his favorites. They have to remove Kid's favorites, which is why they've been trying to trade Tim for 2 years. Kid will play THJ over better players because he likes THJ. He plays Maxey over better players because he likes Maxey. That was the same thing with Powell until he was forced to play other players who are clearly better than him. But even once we traded for Gafford, remember, he was still giving Powell and Maxey more minutes than Gafford. Gafford had 6 minutes in the game.
Yeah,
but he was playing. He played Maxey 20-some minutes.
Maxey was the second center.
Yeah, he plays terrible people because he likes them. It's not about the meritocracy where people earn their spots when the Kid is involved. Kid has clear favorites and he will play them. So you can't just say, "Oh, they're seeing something." No, Kid has to get his toys taken from him, or he will continue to make bad decisions.
Can I say something? You guys mind if I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Glenn.
During the playoffs, when Hardy jumped in and his minutes went up, they asked Kid specifically, "So what did you see in practice to make you play? What did you see to make you play Hardy?" And he said, "Well, based on what he's done in practice," he said, "I think he deserves playing time, and I think everyone else on the team believes he deserves playing time, and we just asked him to be patient." I think they recognize Hardy can play. I don't think that's the topic. I think the two topic is one, his contract is up. And I don't know if they like him enough to pay him at least the Josh Green contract, because whether we think it or not, someone's going to pay him up to $10 million a year just based on potential and what they've seen. And so Spencer Dinwiddie is like you said, he's proven he's a ball handler Hardy is a shooter and creator, but he can't create for many other people except unless he's doing those lobs. Now he's good at lobs now, but he doesn't have the vision. Spencer Dinwiddie is tried and true in the playoffs. We're no longer a team that can just hope someone can go out there. Like we can't wish cast our third ball handler. That's really the reason why we need at least three ball handlers on the court at the same time. I'll say this. They asked PJ Washington, what's the main thing you're working on in the offseason? I thought he'd say three-pointer. He said ball handling. They want everyone on the court to be able to handle the ball almost as if a combo guard level.
And you know, they can dribble, drive, initiate, and that's what Hardy does well.
And you know what? And to piggyback off of what Glenn just said, you know who else does that we just picked up? Najee Marshall. Also, what did I? Also, hold on, King, one more thing. What did I just say that they expect from what's the boy name? Quentin Grimes.
I'm about to say you just said Najee Marshall. Excuse me, Najee Marshall, Quentin Grimes.
Klay Thompson,
Spencer Dinwiddie, everybody. The Mavericks lead the league in 4-on-3 situations where Luka is getting double teamed the most in the NBA. When we see them situations happen, we always sit back and we cry saying, "Why the hell can't y'all score?" It's 4 yard versus 3.
Yeah,
what is one thing we've all been screaming on this channel that we wish the players could do? At least just dribble the ball and move the ball. Just move it.
That's the thing with Luka he was blitzed twice as much as the next player, which I think was Jalen Brunson, and that was the other thing. What was consistent with that? Why we were all so happy? Like, oh man, we love Gafford, and he's got a lot of highlight dunks for us. But we're not better with him on the court because he can't pass the ball out of the pivot.
Yep.
You know what would absolutely bring, like a small tear to my eye, man, is to finally, and I think it might be the season, right, where we get to a point where Luke is going out there and averaging maybe, 27 points a game, right? And but instead of 9 assists, he's getting you 12 to 15.
Yes.
Instead of 10 rebounds, he's getting you maybe 8, and you've got basically, and we are winning 60 games potentially, you know what I mean? Because we've got all these guys around, like you said, that can handle the ball, they can do something. It's like I said before, man. We just need guys who just do a little bit of something on offense, just something more than just shooting the ball or dunking, right, from 3-point line. Yeah, they got a bit of a mid-range game. They're a threat, and they can also pass the ball a little bit. They can do all these things. When I see really well-balanced teams in the league, the ones that kind of maybe they don't have a superstar, and that's the reason they're not winning championships and such. But one thing they do is they sort of move the ball really well. So they just have talent all over the court. They may not have a really standout player, but every single one of those guys can move a little bit. They can shoot a little bit. They can hit a midi. They've got something. They got a post game or something. You know what I mean? Which you can't just leave them open. You can't just sort of let them do what they want because they're just gonna get buckets. And the whole problem with Luka, as we've seen before, and so many times, is he's out there trying to hold the whole world on his back like Atlas. Mm-hmm. It's just crushing him, and his knees, God bless him. Now he's got Klay Thompson, he's got Spencer back, who we all know what Spencer does. He's got, like you say, Najee Marshall. You got these other guys. We're just not going to see that anymore. And I think Luka now, because you can see he's exhausted coming out of these games. He doesn't have to play 42 minutes or 38 minutes a game. He can play maybe 35 like Jokic and Giannis does. That's what we want. We're going
from one of the worst assist teams in the NBA to one of the best this year. That's what I think the increase is going to be.
This offense is going to look so different because we have so many. I mean, everything has been Luka and Kyrie centric. It's still going to be Luka and Kyrie centric, but now with the ability to be able to move the ball around, put everyone on the court. I mean, it makes perfect sense bringing in Klay because that type of ball movement actually sets him up for more open opportunities. And I'll say this: it may be a little bit of a conspiracy theory. I think the Mavericks were low key. I think they were sad they lost Derrick Jones, but I think they were elated because I think in their heart of hearts, they were going to bring Jones back because he was a part of the family. Yes. But I think if they were going to wish cast and draw something up on a board, they would have rather had Najee Marshall all day.
Yep. Yeah.
Just because of his skill set.
Glenn, we said this on the show. We said this on the show. I know we had the show. We talked about the rumor of us getting Najee Marshall and then also too Klay Thompson. We didn't even bring Klay Thompson up because we didn't think we were going to get Klay Thompson. And also, we didn't think we was gonna get Najee Marshall. We thought, like, man, there's no way in the world, New Orleans is gonna let him go, right? And so all the stuff for us to get him for $9 million. You telling me I can get? So I said this. I'm not just saying this because I'm a Mad fan and because he's on our team now. I strongly believe Najee Marshall's better than Derrick Jones Jr. I'm sorry.
He is.
Because he is.
And I was better.
He's more skilled, man. He's a better basketball player.
Remember on the show yelling about thinking that what is it? Clay going to take a cheaper contract, and that we probably gonna get two guys. We can get a KCP or Trey Murphy or Najee Marshall, somebody with Klay Thompson. Nico went and got that done. Glenn is like the weakness on our team all last year. One way you try to beat the Dallas Mavericks is you try to get the ball out of Luka and Kyrie's hands, right? Like they can't always play all 48 minutes together. No, you try to when one of them out there trap them and you make the other guys play. Nico, we now have a team where you play the other four guys. They're gonna cook you. They're gonna cook you. Like it's now no longer a weakness. Those four dudes, those other 3 versus 2 or 4 versus 3 are going to cook you.
Well, and Glenn, I think you have a great point there where it's still, in a sense, centered around Kyrie and Luka, but I think in a different way because it's the gravity that those two pull when they go into the lane that opens everybody else up. That part I don't think is going to change, but I don't think all the burden's going to be on those two, like you're saying, because now you have guys that can shoot threes because last year we really couldn't shoot the three, other than a few people on the team, other than Luka, Kyrie, and I'm not going to say THJ because he fell off the cliff, but, Hardy could grab a 3 or whatever, but I just think it's so important because even all the other players know, and you can listen to them when they interviewed, when they talk, they all know their role. We're not sitting here twiddling our thumbs wondering, has Jason Kidd let them know what their role is yet? Even Clay in his interview said, I'm excited that I don't have that pressure basically on me to be that guy anymore. I think he took so much crap last year from being the number 2 and not being that guy at times. He said, I'm excited to turn that over to Luka and Kyrie and it not to be on me and me to come alongside them and open the floor basically and do all those things. And I just don't think the team's willing to give up the defense. So I agree with whoever said that Grimes will probably see more playing time than possibly Hardy because, Hardy's defense isn't as good, but I still think there's playing time for Hardy. It's just a matter of now we got like 10, 12 deep. What are you going to do? Who's going to be the odd man out? Who's not really going to be playing?
What it reminds me of is actually, and this is actually it's going to sound like a weird example, but I'll explain. It's like the Mavs team as it currently instructed seems to me like a better version of like the prime Clippers when you had Kawhi, Paul George, but they had literally had such a deep team behind them, and it was they had literally like you had up to 12. You had guys like Luke Kennard and stuff who were just really good players. You know what I mean? Like as role players. At least, and like you had guys like Norman Powell and stuff, like prime Norman Powell, and you had all these other guys, Terrence Mann, like Montrezl Harrell, and all these other guys. Like this kind of reminds me of that, but better. And obviously, the only reason, let's be honest, that Clippers team was going to win that championship. The only reason they didn't is because obviously the standard, PG and Kawhi get injured stuff. But let's be honest, like they were like by far and above the deepest, best team. Yeah, 100%. But they were the best team in the NBA. They were the best team in the NBA, and it wasn't close, man. They were so good, and like that's the same team that Luka, took them to 7 games one time. But they were the best, man. They were incredible, and I think that's what we've got potentially at the moment. We got Luka and Kyrie. That's our Kawhi Paul George combo, and then after that you just got a super deep lineup. Lots of defense, and that's perfect, man. That's championship material.
Well, back to that emergency situation. Should I give up the dream, or y'all think my boy Whaley's gonna get a training camp invite?
Nah, he'll probably get a training camp invite.
Yeah, because like Nancy said, if one of the centers go down, Whaley might not get a start over Powell, but I'd at least love for it to be a choice. Yeah.
So y'all feel like that's like the last piece, one more big?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
I don't want to see Powell on the floor. He frightens me. He looks so lost
somebody
out there
that can
last
play
year
a
when he was on
4
the
or a
floor.
5 even as a backup. They don't have to be a starter that can play 4 or 5. A backup. I mean, Najee can play the backup 3, 4 and play both of them good. But you need a 6'10" person that can play
Small ball 5.
That's
Yeah,
what
small
that's
ball
what I was
5
going
and
to say,
forward.
bro. Like the issue is, I don't think the issue is about the third center. It's about Dwight Powell being on the team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Dwight Powell and like
Unfortunately.
Maxey being able to play those guys, like neither one of those guys, like Dwight Powell is not. We always say this. Even it says on his profile, he's a forward. You feel me? But he's not good enough to be a 4. So like a lot of our 4s that we actually have, the PJ Washingtons and all that, like I got him playing center better than Dwight Powell.
Yeah.
You know what
He's
I'm saying?
played it before.
But he
He's
wouldn't
played
be the
small
third
ball.
center. Yeah, like he wouldn't be the third center on this team. It would be Dwight Powell. Like Dwight Powell shouldn't see the floor.
I think with the addition of Najee Marshall, what it does is he could play the 4, PJ plays the 5 in a pinch, and then you roll out that type of lineup. But
will Kid do that, Joe?
No, not if Maxi Kleber's available.
Exactly. If Maxey and Powell is there.
Say that again, Joe. What did you say?
Yeah, I mean that's the issue. So, I mean, we're all saying the same thing here. Yeah. So it's like Big J said, you got to take away his toys so he doesn't play him, and then as long as Maxey's on the team, he's going to play him because there's a need for that player on the team.
Yes,
it's just not that player that we have.
Right.
The imaginary role, the quote unquote role that Maxey has is amazing in this NBA. Like the quote unquote role that Maxey has is damn near Miles Turner. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but Maxey's not no damn Miles Turner.
Right.
Well, I mean, look at that Nuggets game. Look at the Celtics game. I would just like I get that Jason Kidd's gotten us here, but he's so in love with playing Maxey that he makes the game harder for Kyrie and Luka. And you can't continue to do that. I would really like Kyrie and Luka to possibly be playing like 32 minutes a game. I don't want to see them go.
Oh, that'd be lovely. That'd be lovely.
There's no way you can help people. People are gonna get injured, y'all. And you get a couple people injured, well then you're playing the third team. I mean, it's not as unrealistic as people argue. Well, Matt, Dwight's the third center making $4 million. Yeah, that's the big argument. Why are you worried about him? It's because he's not that far away from playing.
Exactly.
And
Is Lively? I'm gonna let
Great
you
point,
Joe,
Richard.
but is Maxey at this point? Real talk, better than Lively at anything?
No.
Nope.
No. Maybe no. Not even.
About to say I thought about that maybe too, Joe. I'm like, I was about to say maybe Parim. No.
Yeah. Here's what I was gonna say is you've heard me play flexibility here, Discord, everywhere. Flexibility. The problem with Maxey and Dwight being on the team is not because I think those guys are awful human beings or anything like that. Is that they make us inflexible, right? That should be what Dwight supposedly offers as a third ball 5, right? What Maxey offers as a backup 4 and a small ball 5, like that guy that comes in and plays that role, legitimately plays that role, should be one player. And for $15 million, we should be able to get somebody like that, but we can't because nobody wants Maxey and Dwight. So we still have inflexibility.
Except our fan base.
Yeah, we still have inflexibility on our roster, which will cost us games this year because Dwight Powell will be forced to play. Maxey will play. And until we get that inflexibility off our roster under this new CBA, we're going to suffer for it.
Master Fame, it's not that Maxey. The problem with Maxey is his money. It's not that everybody's trying to kick him to the curb and they don't want him. It's the fact that his salary is $11 million.
I don't even think it's not. It's not even just the salary though. And
he's
Master,
not capable anymore.
You jumped into the end. It was mostly a positive episode. We just talking about the last pieces of the.
No, I was reading Master Fame.
Yeah, I'm saying as far as Fame, he was saying as far as he walked in just now, and we still worried. I'm like, we talking about the end of the bench now, Master. It was a great show and a positive show until we got to this point, but it ain't even just Maxey's money. It's Maxey being on the team because Jason Kidd's going to play him. That's all we're saying, Master. Like we're saying, if Maxey's on the squad, Jason Kidd's going to find a way to play Maxi Kleber.
Well, he
20 minutes
fits
a game,
Jason
that's a lot.
Kidd's system. I mean, the way Jason Kidd, his system, Maxi or Maxi's type of player is pivotal to it. It's just Maxi's not that guy.
Let Lively become that guy. You feel me? If you want to open the Pandora's box and say, like, at this point, I trust Lively to do anything Maxi Kleber would do on the floor. So let him do it all. Pause. You feel me? Like, stop. Like, Maxi's no longer trying to shoot threes. We said
let him cheerlead with Dwight over on the bench.
He made 0.7 a game in 43. Like, that's horrible. Guys make 10 3-pointers in a game. Maxi made less than 40 in a season.
That means like 30 for a year.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even care about the money, y'all. It ain't my money. I just don't want him playing.
He's not a stretch 4 or 5. He doesn't stretch anything. Pause. Like, what does he stretch?
His hamstring.
Yes. His pinky toe.
No, it's flossed.
I don't understand. Like I told you, Maxi used to catch lobs and all and call him. Maxi doesn't even do the call me. He stopped doing the call me.
Well, I mean,
out of the freaking root building, y'all.
Hey, you got to make the shots to get called.
He used to do the call me thing. He had a little catchphrase and a little like taunt and all that. His confidence is so gone. He doesn't do it anymore. He stopped doing their taunt.
Listen, I don't understand. Like these players, like the Maxis and the Pals, are the only ones who get the benefit of the doubt. We sitting there screaming for THJ to get traded, and I still feel like he did more than Maxi, but yet Maxi says he to be on the team.
He's done more than both of them.
So
Tim Hardaway Jr. is a
understand
better player on the team than Maxi and Dwight Powell. Tim Hardaway Jr. was the second best player when we played the Clippers the second time in the playoffs. That was Tim Hardaway Jr.
So if we go by based on Nico and our front office, Maxi should be in line to be traded next year since his contract is expiring, and it's going to be the only time he has more value than he has now. But I will say this, for that role that we're looking for, like a 6'9" actual stretch 5, someone that can play power forward, and center, like a third string center. Man, there's not that many actively good 6'9" players in that role currently in the NBA.
Exactly.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna disagree and say one thing, because there's one guy that Relle sends me a picture of, and I'm like, why the hell this guy still got a job? I'd take him, Relle, over Maxi Kleber.
Who the?
Taj Gibson.
But he's like
I don't know why he in the league, and I would take him over Maxi Kleber right now doing what Maxi Kleber does.
But he's like 40 years old,
and I would take him. Listen to what I'm saying again. And that's the point. He's 40 years old, and I would trade him 1-for-1 for Maxi right now.
I don't know if I agree with that one.
I'm just glad I wasn't one that said was faulty.
You out on that, Ben? Okay, I'm telling you, Taj Gibson can do everything Maxi Kleber does and more. With his offense being wide open the way Maxi is, he'll make 2 threes a game, if not more.
Hey, I kind of agree with Master Glenn. You said at the end of the year, I would be surprised if Master get moved to the deadline.
You're gonna have to attach first to get him, and then the only player I'd really do that would be Isaiah Stewart, because I could trade Dwight Powell and make the money work.
That's what I'm saying. It's the money situation. So if we trade him, we got to make the money work.
If you do that, I don't have a problem with doing that, even with using the first. You just got to get a couple second round picks.
Okay, would you give him? Okay, so this is the trade then. Like in theory, right? Would you give? So Maxi and Powell, obviously, right? And then you give them the 2025 first, because that's the actual valuable thing that they want, and then. Like, I mean, I don't know if they would give Isaiah Stewart for that, but I guess it is Detroit. So, I mean, I would do that, to be fair, because, I mean, F them picks, you know? What are we going to do with those?
I mean, as long as I get a couple of second round picks
back,
I'm good.
How many minutes is Isaiah Stewart playing, though? And where, for sure?
He's playing small ball 5 and backup power 4. He shot 39% on, 3.3 attempts per game last year.
I know all that, Joe, but how much does he make?
He's making $15 million exactly for the next 4 years.
Y'all want to give $15 million? That's what I'm saying, the money. Y'all want to give $15 million to your third center?
I mean, I think he's a backup 4, too. I think it makes
Yeah,
us.
you play him as the 4, yeah.
So he's out backup 4. That's what he is. He's not the third center.
That can play small ball 5.
Okay, because I'm like, man, we put him just to be the third center. I don't know about that one.
Oh no, that's why I'm saying that he fits. He's got that hybrid role where he can do two things.
He's making more than PJ is, isn't he?
I know, but it's still
and Najee.
I mean, he'll be the only bad contract, but that's fine. It's better than.
Well, and I mean,
better than
he's not the only one. I mean, that's just like me with Denny. That's Joe's favorite. There's maybe 3, maybe 4 other ones that you could realistically get. There ain't a bunch of them, like Lynn said, but there are a few of them.
That's all I'm saying, Joe.
I prefer Bobby.
Yes.
Portis.
Now I may give a first round pick for Bobby Portis to get rid of. I know what Bobby Portis gonna give us, and if he just bag a power forward, I'm perfectly fine with it. But
what are you getting paid? Like 12?
13.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like 12, 13. I'm fine with that. If we just take a maxi contract and making it Bobby Portis and making that for a first round pick, I do it.
The problem is we can't do that because it doesn't fit into their thing. It's an illegal trade.
Damn.
Yeah, trust me. We already
do that.
That was
that's
the
it.
first guy, Richard.
That's what I'm saying.
And I tried to trade
the Isaiah Stewart, the $15 million being the backup. I know he has all the capabilities. I'm like, damn, is he gonna be worth $15 million though? And that
Joe,
and he may not be.
Didn't work.
Well, and I mean, there's like my guy with the Nets. There's a cat I think in Washington that you could probably get. I mean, there's
take a flyer on somebody. That's what I'm saying, Richard.
There's 3 or 4 that you could get that could play the backup power forward, small ball center. Yeah. They're not going to be superstar players. And that's where all the casual fans come unglued on it because they don't recognize the name or they're not a star. They don't want them. But we don't need a star. We just need a backup.
Maxie's the Mendoza line, Joe. Like, we can get somebody better than that. You feel me? Like, that's how I'm feeling. Like, go get somebody.
I mean, that's all we need is somebody better.
Get somebody hitting 230, 240. You feel me? Like, I just don't want to. I want to try not to get rid of that first round pick for a backup player. But if I'm getting rid of that first round pick, like I said, Bobby Portis is for sure. I know what Bobby Portis is.
I wouldn't be
the dog.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Scheme with it ain't a bad thing.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Getting off that pick and getting some second round picks back, you're okay. It could even be better.
Bobby Portis is worth $12 million just being a dog. Go ahead, bro.
Not gonna say, Glenn, go ahead and get your point in, and we're gonna wrap it up here.
Well, I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if the Bobby Portis thing isn't an ongoing conversation because last year Mavs kicked the tires with Bobby Portis, and it sounded like there was some interest with the Bucks, but the compensation was just a little too much. Now, if we start talking about the whole Kleba / Hardy / a couple second round draft picks, I mean, Hardy, I know for us, he's polarizing. Some people love him, some people don't. But around the league, his talent for 20, 21 years old, you attach it with an almost expiring contract with Kleba, and a couple second round draft picks, you may actually get their attention with a Bobby Portis trade.
Now we talking.
I would make the trade. I love you, Jaden Hardy. I hope the best for you, like Josh Green and all that. But right now, I told you it's a timeline thing. Hardy is the next guy up. I say it every year, but I'm like, somebody the next guy up. It's now Hardy time. Like, Hardy, you gonna be here or not? We trying to win championships.
Well, then you got a quality power forward teaching our young guys instead of Maxi Kleba teaching them.
I think Spencer could get us 10 points a game this year at least.
Yeah.
Okay. I think our bench is going to be better than it was last year. I think we can get at least 20 points from our bench a game.
The problem is, can I say this about Bobby Portis, guys? The Milwaukee Bucks are in the second apron, so we can't aggregate players. It has to be a 1-for-1 player. Bobby Portis can't come to the Mavericks because we don't have somebody making exactly his money. They can't take more money into their contract. They can't take multiple players to make up for one player. It's got a 1-for-1 in both.
How far is Maxey? Maxey's not right there?
Maxey's 11. 11.9. Bobby's 12. No, I think 12.5.
Then it can't be. It can't. Down the second apron. Horrible. You saying it can't be that close? That's too far?
No, it's got to be exact same contract.
That's horrible.
But yo, I'm gonna put everybody backstage, guys. What were we gonna say, Joe?
No, I was just saying it's got to be exact in the case of the Bucks.
Gee.
Yeah.
But there
All right.
are other options. You know what I mean? There's options out there that we can follow through with it.
We
Don't
could
have to
take in
be one particular player.
it
We
just has
just
to be a
that's where
cheaper
we
player.
need to look.
Yeah, Big
That's
J
the
said-
weakness of the team.
Big J said you had to include Powell, but Big J, they saying it has to be 1-for-1 because they're in the second apron.
Yeah, that's why he did Bobby Portis. That's why I was saying Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah, I remember.
One.
It didn't work.
Yeah, and then there's we could get a younger player. Like,
Can we just do Marvin Bagley?
We'll take your $5 million player.
Can we just do Marvin Bagley, guys? Like, I know everybody got their opinions and all that stuff. Like,
I mean, for
Maxey's
what
the
we
closer
need,
line.
he ain't.
Can we just give a second rounder and Maxey for Marvin Bagley?
For what we need, he ain't bad.
We'd have to trade somebody else with Cleveland because we're hard capped. We only have like $500,000 left.
Hell, let's try to do a decent
AJ
trade with him
Boston.
and get Kispert too.
But they're not going to do that out of the goodness of their heart. They're going to want. We only have 2 second-round picks, right? And it's not everybody keeps throwing we'll just put second-round picks. We only have 2, and they're not creating more second-round picks. But we'd have to attach a first.
I don't know.
Marvin Bagley.
Not
Y'all
for
wanna do
Bagley,
that?
I don't think, Joe. I think Stewart has more value than Bagley does. I think Bagley we may be able. You said a first for Stewart. We can do second rounders for Marvin. Nobody's trying to give anything for Marvin Bagley. So if the Pistons can get 2 second rounders for Marvin Bagley, I think they'd say okay.
Would you do the first for him and Kispert and maybe get a couple seconds back?
Kispert's nice.
Because we can get both of them, absolutely.
Yeah, it would cost you the first, but you could probably get a couple second-round picks back.
But I do
Marvin
two problems.
We're probably not going to get somebody as good as Kispert picking 25th to 30th anyway.
No, I mean, I'm just saying there's options is the whole point I'm trying to harp on.
Yeah,
There's
so
options.
Marvin Bagley is at the lowest point of his career, y'all. Let's just go get Marvin Bagley.
All right, guys, I'm going to put y'all backstage so we can go ahead and wrap this up here. I appreciate y'all joining us today.
Appreciate everybody. Thank y'all as always.
Yes, sir.
Bro, you against that? I know you were against Marvin Bagley, but you not for Maxey Cleaver. You wouldn't.
Yeah, we gotta get Maxey up out of here, man.
That's what I'm saying. I would do Marvin Bagley. I would for Maxey.
Like I mean, for like I said, I keep bringing up the fact that he makes more than Najee Marshall, bro.
Yeah,
he makes more than Najee Marshall, and I'm guaranteeing you that Najee's gonna do way more than Maxey's gonna do, bro. So,
bro, he's making $5 million less than Klay Thompson.
Yep. So, but yeah, man, we appreciate y'all, man, joining us here. As y'all already know, before we wrap it up, man, let's give a real quick shout out to the sponsors of our channel.
Before we continue, we want to give a special shout out to Fanatics for hooking the channel up with a personalized link for you guys and ladies to get all of your official NBA Dallas Mavericks merchandise and apparel. If you're interested in helping the channel at all, please scan the QR code on the screen or check out the link in the description. We appreciate all of the continued support, and big thanks go out to Fanatics once more for hooking us up over here at We Talk Mavs.
Yes, sir, guys. It's never ever too late to copy some brand new Mav merch. All you gotta do is scroll on down to the description box. There is a link there. Not only does it benefit you, but it also helps out the channel by clicking on that link and copying you some new Mav merch. All right, guys. We will be back here pretty soon. We'll stay tuned. Y'all already know how we do it, man. We'll be back for more Mav content. We definitely appreciate the members of the channel. If you want to become a member and join these people on stage, all you got to do is simply hit that join button next to the subscribe button. But if you're on an iPhone, you have to go through Safari on your phone and through the YouTube desktop version and join that way. But other than that, man, simply just hit that join button. We do this every Friday for the members. Let's see. Kings, anything else, man?
Follow my guy, Cuz We Geek. He's on his way to a second goal of 500. Him and Will talked about everything geek culture over there. Also, share, and more share on us, guys. We on our way to our fifth goal of 3K. We are actually less than 100 away now, guys. Like I think I have less than 90 maybe now.
Yeah, probably less than 90, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. So share, give it to a friend, pass it to a friend, ask a friend, and pass it to another friend. Pause. But yeah, help us get there, bro. We're almost there, and we're gonna do giveaways. So we think about it, some new giveaway we're gonna do at 3K. So help us get there, so we can give it away to some member. And other than that, y'all, appreciate y'all as always. Another good Friday.
Yes, sir. With all that being said, guys, it is your boys Relle and King. When we talk Mavs, when we talk Dallas Mavs from a fan's perspective, we will be back here soon. Same Mav time, same Mav channel. Go Mavs, and we out.
Peace.